This program is part of the Far South Border North initiative by the City of San Diego in partnership with regional collaborators, funded in part by the California Arts Council and the Conrad Previs Foundation. Hello and welcome to Food for Life. I'm your host, Cathlyn Choi. Our youth are at a higher risk of developing diet-related diseases at much younger ages now due to diets high in processed foods, sugars, and other additives they are exposed to. Obesity that causes type 2 diabetes is also rising rapidly, and some pediatricians have even labeled it as a pandemic, causing not only physical health issues, but also mental ones. The culinary arts have been proven to have a calming and centering effect on us. They also foster a sense of purpose and accomplishment that many youth experience for the first time. Today, we will explore the healing properties of the culinary arts and meet with two extraordinary women who each play essential roles in empowering our youth through health and wellness. That and more coming up next on Food for Life. Let's first meet Chef Danielle Cherise, who teaches culinary arts at Hoover High School in City Heights. She is devoted to sharing her passion for cooking and even uplifting her students through culinary arts.
Having access to a program like this through high school, it's very beneficial. It's filling a gap that it's missing. This is missing in a lot of homes. So this type of program would be beneficial, I think, in every school. I love connecting with these kids. I love, it's kind of living vicariously. It keeps my excitement alive for food. Their excitement for what's the next recipe? What are we cooking next week, chef? You know, I feed off of that, and it helps me to know that I'm doing a good job because they're excited and passionate about getting in the kitchen. All they want to do is come in and cook. They want to cook, they want to learn, they want to experience the joy of healthy food just alongside with me. So that it's inspirational, very inspirational. I have a very diverse background. I grew up in Torrance, California, and there was a lot of different cultures in North High. And so I'm just used to being around different cultures, different backgrounds. I had a lot of exposure at a young age to different cuisine. So it really inspired me and kind of broadened my, my knowledge for different types of food and my love for food. Combine the wet and dry ingredients.
I want to do this class because I feel like it's beneficial in a lot of ways. I feel like it's something everyone needs to know. It's like learning how to cook properly, because I feel like it's a useful skill. Everyone needs to know that, because I feel like a lot of people don't, especially my age.
So half a cup? Oh wait, I don't think I need this.
Yeah, you do need this.
No, I can just.
I believe it is very important for students like me to learn to make and cook healthy foods because the ones who are heading up to college, those of us who are lacking such skills, they're most likely going to turn towards fast foods or takeout or frozen foods, which can be detrimental to their health or can start some health problems that they didn't have before, and also it helps with becoming more independent.
I will teach them all the fundamentals of nutrition. We do food substitutions. When I'm able to, we make a lot of plant-based recipes. I think that the key is for them to have the knowledge to make an informed decision. I don't think things are always going to be perfect. We know teens are going to eat their junk food, right? But, having the knowledge is extremely important. So that's my angle, that's my goal, just to teach them a skill so they're able to cook for themselves, cut out a lot of, preservatives and all the things you might get in fast food or packaged food, and cook fresh items, fresh produce, and know how to swap things out to make maybe their favorite foods a more healthy option.
Gonna put in our granola into the oven. We'll put it on the top rack. Close the oven right away. We're gonna place it on the oven mitt, and we're gonna let it cool for around 10 to 12 minutes.
Until I get to 1 hour. Yeah. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like that thing? I learned like how to make like new kinds of food that I've never made at home, and like how to bake and stuff.
So we're substituting potatoes for her chicken. She's sauteing the potatoes and getting a nice caramelization on her potatoes. And we're also going to glaze it with the sauce so she gets that same nice flavor in the end.
Well, coming to the class and learning to cook is definitely something I'd recommend so you can have more experience and helps later on in life.
I let them choose a lot of what we make. I say, hey, here are the options, here are the ingredients we're working with. I believe transparency is the best. So I say, hey, here's our budget. This is our, within our means to create a recipe or a meal or an ideal or a theme to a class, and I let them have a lot of say. And then I will, like I said, substitutions are a big thing. So, maybe doing a cauliflower mac and cheese, adding cauliflower and reducing the amount of fat and calories that you would get if you did a full fat mac and cheese. Things of that nature. I feel like the small little adjustments accumulate over time, and I let them know that, and I'm hoping that that's a takeaway for them. So yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
You guys want to do one without seeds and one with seeds? Or you guys not gonna? We're gonna put oil on the pan to heat up the tortillas, and then we have to put oil on the tortillas so it can get warm and not get cold.
I try to make my recipes accessible. So going to the local markets such as Northgate or, Vaughn's or Murphy's, kind of working with the ingredients that are easy to find. There's produce here. We can find produce here. It's just knowing what to do with it. I believe when they go home with that knowledge and they're excited about culinary and they've made something super delicious that is also healthy, they're gonna wanna share that with their friends and family. So that knowledge is gonna spread, right? So just making it accessible, making it relatable, making it delicious, I feel like that is the key.
That's really good.
Cooking is such a needed skill. We need to learn how to nourish ourselves. We need to learn how to maybe not depend on, convenience foods so heavily because it is affecting our health. So this program is extremely important to the health of our future. So this is Hoover Garden, the wonderful Hoover Garden. We have community members that come and volunteer here, and they take care of everything, water everything. They harvest all of the greens here. Everything here is edible. We have corn, we have sunflowers, borage, we have celery, leafy greens, tomatoes, nasturtium, which we've used in the culinary class to garnish our desserts with, cilantro. I mean, there's a ton of things here that we can use and cultivate for the garden. A lot of it goes to our cafeteria too. So they utilize everything that's grown here, either in the classroom or in the cafeteria. This is Swiss chard, and you can saute this with a little like olive oil, salt, pepper. It's kind of like it's got like a pepperiness to it, like a hearty leafy green here. We have some lettuces. This is cilantro here. We have celery. If you guys like come, you can kind of smell. It's like a little faint smell. You can smell the celery. You smell it?
I do think that this class will help me in the long run to make food for myself. You know, it's been good to learn new skills that I haven't known before. I think everybody should be able to learn to cook for themselves. I think it's a really important skill that they should learn because, you know, imagine how much money you're wasting taking out on buying food, takeout, and all that type of stuff. And it's not even good for you sometimes. Like, you don't know what's going inside the food. But when you're cooking yourself, you can learn what you're putting in, what you're putting in your body, and all that stuff.
I mainly cook for myself, but if my family needs help, then I will help with them. I think my favorite part is being hands-on with everything we make. I think it's really fun to make everything, like knowing I made it makes it like 10 times better, in my opinion. Yeah, no, I think it's definitely important to learn how to cook at a young age because, well, let's say your mom has to work or your dad has to work long hours and no one's there to like cook for you. I think it's important for you to learn how to make food. And if I were to give a message, just to learn how to make something, just search it up, you know.
I have different lesson plans specifically to grains and vegetables and fruits, which cover all of the nutritional values of those things that are not labeled. We also teach them how to read food labels. It's important to know how much sodium they're ingesting or what kind of preservatives they may be ingesting or how much protein is in a protein bar, and especially tailoring it to their needs. We teach them through an app called MyPlate, and it lets them know how many calories they should be ingesting for a whole day. We also cover macronutrients, micronutrients, hydration. So all of those things are covered so they know how to nourish their bodies.
This is food for life.
Next, let's visit with Chef Mercedes Tigg, a culinary visionary and the driving force behind the innovative 816 Culinary Therapy program. With a passion for transforming lives through food, Chef Mercedes combines her exceptional culinary skills with a deep commitment to healing and wellness. Her program offers therapeutic cooking experiences to those in need, nourishing the body and healing the soul, inspiring countless individuals to find strength and joy through the art of cooking.
My name is Mercedes Tigg. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I am a professor, I am an educator, and I am the owner and founder of 816 Culinary Therapy. My passion and love for cooking was birthed in my grandmother's kitchen. Sarah was born on August the 16th, and so in paying homage to her and everything that she did for me, I decided to name my business after her, 816 Culinary Therapy. She would just always say, when you cook and you make food, you use your hands because that's how you put love in it and that's how you put your heart in it. And so that's where my passion in cooking came from. Not only was she my maternal grandmother, she was also my foster mother. So myself and 4 other siblings, we were raised in the foster care system from birth. And growing up with a Southern grandma, everything was from scratch. And it's just something I've always loved to do. The idea for culinary therapy came during the pandemic. I decided to fuse my passion for cooking and mental health together. I think it was during a time where we were all going crazy on the inside, and so I wanted to create or do something different and unique. And so during the pandemic, I would try different recipes. And from there, I decided to start a private practice. When you are a clinician and a therapist out in the world, it's best that you have a specialization. And so the fact that it was culinary and I already love to cook and I already love food, it was perfect. So I launched online virtually and kicked it off with virtual cooking classes. And so I launched in August, and by that November, I had my first contract with a nonprofit here in San Diego to provide mindfulness cooking classes. Culinary therapy is an innovative and non-traditional way of throwing therapy. I use the art of food preparation and mindfulness to address mental well-being, emotional well-being, and physical health. So really it is the art of being mindful in the kitchen. And so what sets culinary therapy apart from other is it's a different way to do therapy. I consider culinary therapy to be a form of art therapy. I like to incorporate all 5 senses, so when we start, we are mindful from start to finish. My goal is to make cooking more therapeutic and not feel like a chore. At the end of the meal, for you to be able to tell me how it tastes, the things that you smell, if you're aware of the textures, and then what it did for your body. So it's different because it's therapeutic. If we're having a session and you're in my kitchen and we're cooking, it's not just chopping. I want us to focus on our breath work, right? And so it's easy to set things on a chopping board and chop, chop, chop. We don't, with culinary therapy, we inhale, we exhale, we tend to just be in the moment and intentional about being mindfulness. So I work with children, families, and individuals. Most recently, our partnership with San Diego Office of Education was for foster youth in San Diego, grades 6 through 12. And then working with different nonprofits here in San Diego, I work with the Blue Heart Foundation, and that is a foundation specifically focused on African American male mentorship. So working with African American males that live in the inner city. I would say our populations have been vulnerable, and so working with foster youth, I'm a former foster youth. Giving back and working with that population is my passion, and you get different kids with different trauma. I get feedback from our group home partners and saying that our youth didn't have an interest in cooking and now that's all they want to do. I've had parents give feedback and share that my kid thinks they're a chef now ever since they went to your group. Because again, you're teaching them things. Sometimes with our foster youth, they could be in a group home, they can be in a foster home, and may not always have access to a kitchen. I did have a youth share that coming to my classes was the only time she got to use a kitchen or be in the kitchen to cook because of her home placement. They're also able to develop friendships and build community. And so I like to think that food brings community, and usually it's the common denominator for anywhere you go. You can travel internationally. To get folks together, it's gonna always be food. And so just to even have them come to class and build that community and make friends lets me know that they're also getting something therapeutic out of it for them. Big picture, farm, doing it internationally, and then having it be in schools. Right now, a barrier is I am the only one, and I'm the only one with the day job. I do have an intern and admin support, but right now my goal is expansion and hopefully identifying a kitchen space where I'm able to expand and offer classes more.
Let's meet with Dr. Angie Neeson, a certified family, lifestyle, and culinary medicine doctor practicing in San Diego. Dr. Neeson is a health leader who transforms food, health, and healing through her nutrition and preventative medicine expertise. Let's find out what makes her integrated approach to medicine so impactful for her patients and how it may even shape the future of how we treat diseases.
So culinary medicine is the idea of all of the science that I learned in medical school and my training and all the health-related conditions, and then putting it together with the art and beautiful flavors of food and marrying the two so that we can optimize one's health, to make our health better so that we can age gracefully and do all the things that we love to do. Over the last 6 years, I have done a lot of continuing medical education to help physicians, because we didn't learn this in medical school. We didn't learn nutrition. And so I think that if we really want to invest in breaking generational cycles of chronic diseases, we really need to invest in that generation of the parents who are actively caring for our patients and our next generation, and also the youth can play a role in teaching their parents what they know about health and what they're learning about in school, and then adapting it so that it doesn't become a different thing. So if my mom was making enchiladas, it wasn't because they were not enchiladas anymore. They were still enchiladas. They were just made a little bit differently with different ingredients that made sense for our health. The youth nowadays are just very disconnected from our food sources. We're disconnected, we don't know where food comes from. We're also not as connected because a lot of the fillers made in processed food really are meant to disconnect our stomachs from our brains. And so we don't have that feeling of fullness like we used to have when we eat real food. One of the things that our youth needs to know that we're dealing with is climate change. They are very much feeling it. They know the effects. They are going to be the generation that's going to have the brunt of the climate change upon them. And one of the biggest impacts that we can do is actually in what we eat and how we change that so that we can have less of an impact on our climate. So the biggest thing I have read in the studies is if we really just reduced our ultra-processed foods, which all come in a package, right? So while they are convenient and they are, easy and accessible, and there's plentiful, it's not the best thing for the environment. They do take up a lot of water, they do take up a lot of energy, a lot of land. So leave those convenient packaged foods for when you're out of the house. And when you're in the house, reach for some fruit. Reach for something that's already in the refrigerator. That's number one. Number two is eating and embracing more plant-based proteins. So I like to tell kids that cows, if there's a lot of them on this planet, they are just farting and burping. And that is all filling our air with pollution and adding to our greenhouse gas emissions. So really trying to reduce our demand on the meat consumption, on the dairy consumption is actually really good for our environment. So remember, if you have a choice between one or the other, it's not that I'm saying you can never have a hamburger, you can never have ice cream. It's just maybe not every day, maybe not 3 times a day. We don't have to have meat. We can embrace, as other cultures have, we can embrace plant-based proteins, lentils, beans, tofu, nuts, seeds. There are plenty of other ways we can get our protein sources without having to rely on meat. But it's more of what do you do day to day to really nourish yourself, to really put in those vitamins, those minerals. We don't need to take a Flintstones vitamin or any kind of vitamins. We just need to eat it from our food. And so that's the nourishing every day that we need to take into account. Culinary medicine is this beautiful art of bridging together the medicine to either prevent or reverse some of the conditions that we chronically see. And so sometimes it could be the simple act of learning how to shop, learning how to chop, learning how to prepare a meal, or learning how to teach others how to do the same thing. Whether you're a parent or you're a friend, you're learning these skills that get passed on generation to generation. So one of the greatest things that has come about in all of the scientific achievements that we've made in nutrition is that we've learned about our microbiomes. And I always tell people, we thought that our guts were just to hold poop, but no, they're much more than that. 70% of our immune system lies in our guts. So it's what we eat to nourish that microbiome that really turns on and turns off genes to help us be healthier. So we have to be good to our friend that lives in our gut. And what does our friend love? The new word, it's an F word, fiber. Fiber. And it's not fiber from, a supplement. It's fiber from foods. Fiber from the variety of different foods. So our gut likes to be seeing a variety of colors, a variety of different fibers. 30 to 40 different plants per week is usually the optimal amount to really help our gut be as healthy and work for us and be thriving. There's lots of programs, there's lots of studies out there that do show that this eating healthier, changing lifestyle habits little by little can improve someone's life and someone's trajectory of their life. But the reality is that we do not live in a scientific study. We have day-to-day stresses, we have day-to-day things we have to do, we have our jobs, we have our school, and so we are not going to be an experiment. Only we can experiment with ourselves. And so that's going to be very different for every person. So it might look like one day to the next you change, or it might look like little pieces. You're doing something different each day. And every single day you're moving towards this journey of making progress. Doesn't have to be all or nothing. It just has to be progress.
So until next time on Food for Life, stay healthy, San Diego.